Heyo, welcome back to the Undrafted and Unqualified Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Anthony. I'm here with Vinny. Episode 30, I believe. So yeah, hey, we're in now.
There we go.
We've done a ton of recording at this point, so pretty cool. We got a lot to talk about today. A lot. Trade deadline literally just passed right before we started recording
15
this.
minutes ago,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we'll talk about some of those trades. We got some games to cover, things like that. You know, the usual schedule. Yeah, maybe if we have time, we'll talk about. I'm interested in some of his team. So,
My
so
2-17,
two
but it's
and
a
seven.
keeper league, so
Yeah,
that's why there's still some like negotiations that could go on that could affect next year.
yeah. So yeah, we'll talk that maybe if we got time. But yeah, interesting week again. Feels like it's been interesting the last like 3 weeks. Something's going on always.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, but I won in our league by point three. So I got lucky, got killed in another league. So, we'll see. We'll see how things keep going.
It sucks for the sake of this show because this is the one year that I joined your league. I'm
Yeah,
2-7.
two and seven.
Not even really just like a lot. I had one major injury with neighbors, but just overall, just rough draft. Just things didn't go my way this year. But I keep winning in all my other leagues. I already clinched
There you
a
go.
playoff spot. I'm 9-0 in one of my dynasty leagues.
Damn.
So
Damn.
I already saw the green check mark on Sleeper for clinch
Damn.
playoffs. Good feeling,
Wow.
but can't seem to figure it out in our league. But
Well,
that,
our league, yeah. I think it was just a weird draft for you. Not
yeah,
first year in
yeah,
the league, super
definitely.
flex,
Yep, yep.
10 man
hmm
keepers. So
I'll be
yeah.
ready next year.
Oh yeah,
I'll
yeah.
take your
It
spot
takes
next
it
year.
takes a year. Well, I might lose it this year.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Riddled with injury. And speaking of injury, just to get into it, the first guy, Jaden Daniels, it's the elbow. I think it's going to be I personally think it's going to be season ending just because that team, the Commanders, are done. So I think they're just going to call it for him, let him rest up. So yeah, Jaden Daniels, I have in our league. So that's one of the guys where uphill battle for me. But
Yeah, that first we were just talking about right before, and I honestly I heard that it was a dislocation, but that's a great point. The fact that like they're done, like they're
yeah,
2-7. It's hard to come out of, especially at this point in the year with that injury to Jaden. So,
they're two and
um,
seven.
or two and didn't you just say that
I have no idea. Let's find out. Where's Washington?
they played Monday or
They're
three
three
and
and
six,
six.
three and six.
Either way.
So like tough to come back from, especially like I said with Jaden out. So
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. I don't see why they would rush him back. He's a generational kind of, oh, maybe not generational, but very good, talented
Yeah.
quarterback that
Yeah.
we saw perform last year. So don't need to rush him in any way.
Yep.
But yeah,
Yeah, I think it's multiple weeks anyway. So even if he does come back, expect him to be out for some time. The next guy up, Tucker Kraft, torn ACL. I also have him on that team in
yeah,
our league. I had Kraft. I have Jaden Daniels. I lost James Conner earlier in the year. I had CD out for a while.
yeah.
Yeah, it's been
That's
I
it.
Trey Benson. So
That's how it goes some
it's been a rough
years.
year. But hey, I'm still 6-3,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
possible, but it's uphill battle.
Mhm.
But yeah, Tucker Kraft done for the year. It just like you said already before the pod, like it's just brutal because he was breaking out. Like he had 33 points a week ago,
Yep.
and then
He
done
also
for the
like
year.
followed the progression of like every like breakout you see. He had a good year last year. People kind of
Yep.
like forgot about it. We talked about him a lot in the offseason. Like he's a great value.
Yeah.
He returned on that and then some. He was the
Yeah.
number one tight end overall in points per game. I mean, this wasn't just a
Yeah.
fluke. Like this guy was doing it every week. And so like then it carries into next year, effect like the ramp up to but yeah, Brute as a Packers fan, it stings because like he was our number one receiving option that we talked about week in and week out. But yeah, just absolutely brutal at like an already slim tight end position in terms of guys you can lean on, and
Yeah.
then the number one guy on the season goes down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. ACLs are brutal
yeah,
too.
yeah,
Yeah, Brian Thomas Jr., he got hurt as well. I believe it's still his shoulder that he's dealing with. Or no, now it's an ankle, I think. So I think
Mhm.
I heard high ankle sprain potentially. So I think I'm expecting him to miss a little time. But yeah, he feels like the biggest bust in
Oh
fantasy
yeah.
this year.
Yeah, that was just the cherry on top for like his
Yeah,
season. Like it just been brutal overall, and then all that he missed was an injury.
yeah,
But yeah, like to your point, honestly, think about it now, like the value that he had of an end of the first round pick, just it never made sense to me. Like I was never
yeah.
considering that, but like I don't even know how it got to that point.
Well, because he
Like,
was cooking last year.
oh yeah,
But
of
I think
course.
we talked about this a lot in the offseason was it was all with Mac. It was all
Yeah.
with Mac Jones. And I mean,
And I was a
it's
believer.
clear, like,
I was one saying like I like don't understand how this couldn't translate to like a
yeah,
better quarterback, like which we thought, but maybe Trevor Lawrence just is Mac Jones. Like he's
yeah,
not a good player.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. I
Definitely
don't
I would
think
agree
Trevor's been that good.
the biggest bust this year in fantasy.
Yeah, brutal. But yeah, I mean, Parker Washington, he gets the bump because also we'll talk about this right now too. Travis Hunter hit IR.
Yeah.
So with his knee injury. So yeah, I mean that rotation's brutal. And we'll talk about a trade in just a couple seconds here.
Mhm.
But yeah, it looks like Parker Washington might have some value moving forward if BTJ is to miss time on top of Travis Hunter. So
Definitely.
yeah. Puka, he came back in the game, but he did bang up his chest. So I wouldn't worry too much, but keep an eye just in case it's more serious than we think.
Yeah. The only thing with him is just like maybe this is just something like you again, it's Puka. He put
He's
up a
always
monster
hurt.
game before he even got out. He had like 20 something points.
Yeah,
Was on pace to just put up 40 with the way Stafford
yeah,
was throwing the ball. But like it's getting to the point where like he might just be a guy that like, the way he plays, injuries just happen
yeah.
to him. So it's a little worrisome in that sense of like, you know, every time he's on the field, every game, you're like, is Puka gonna be healthy? But
Yep,
it's Puka, so you gotta live with it.
yep. Um, Aaron Jones, AC joint. They're saying he's going to play next week though, so wouldn't worry too much. But hey, big boost to Jordan Mason if he is to miss time.
Yep.
Travis Hunter just talked about Kayshon Boutte. He actually said himself that he'll see how he's feeling heading into this weekend's game. He may miss it, but he's hoping to be back by Thursday night football next week.
Okay.
So he might miss 1 week, but Boutte should be okay. Without Boutte, though, maybe we can boost Diggs a little bit. Maybe we can boost I know Kyle Williams is getting some run time. I probably wouldn't worry about him for fantasy.
Yeah.
But Demario Douglas had a hell of a day
Yeah.
with Boutte getting hurt. So that's something to consider. Matthew Golden also got hurt, so it looks like Dobbs is going to have some chances there.
Watson's back too.
Watson,
And he
yep,
caught like his signature 50-yard bomb that he
yep.
just gets. So he's a deep league play potentially. Not
Yeah,
even
I
like
think
in
he's a
bye
good
weeks, you
shot. Yeah,
could throw him in the flex. But yeah, it's kind of those Dobbs and Watson for right now.
yep. Stroud got ruled out with a concussion. I don't think it changes much for fantasy, if I'm being honest. Just the
No.
offense runs similarly. Um, yeah, but no Stroud. Luke McCaffrey, done for the year. I believe it was ACL. I
I
mean,
just gotta.
let's just say, I mean, this is just brutal for the Commanders. Their season has been riddled with injuries. So yeah, that's not great for a team that's already banged up a lot.
Yo,
So
yo.
yeah. Samaje Perine, I believe, got a concussion, and Cole Kmet also came back out with a concussion. So yeah, just some injuries to watch. Bengals are going into their bye though for Perine.
Mm,
Um, yeah, trade wise, Jacoby Myers got traded to the Jags. I think that is actually some big news. I think he becomes the one there. Him and Parker Washington are very clearly going to have some value for the next 4 weeks. I think if Brian Thomas Jr. comes back, I think that bumps kind of all three of them down. I think it kind of becomes a little
yeah.
crowded. They've
Yep.
used Parker Washington all year, but for now, I think Jacoby Myers could have some good value for the next few weeks in the short term.
Yeah, I also think it speaks to like the potential lingering injuries for BTJ and Travis Hunter. Like I think if they believe in BTJ like not having a major injury and potentially missing time, they maybe don't make that move for Jacoby. Or if they think
Right.
Travis Hunter could come back quicker than the 4 weeks he's already out, maybe they don't make that move. So I think
Yeah,
that move says more about like these injuries that we don't have a lot of information on,
I think so
especially with
too.
BTJ.
Yeah.
So I would agree that like of course if BTJ were to miss time, Jacoby's the one.
Mhm.
But like even with like BTJ had his opportunity last week where no Travis Hunter, it's all him, and he
Yeah.
again, put up like 8 points on like
Yeah,
four
it's been
for
a weird year for BTJ. I
yeah.
mean, the fact that he was even circled or rumored in trade rumors at one point where they'll listen is crazy to me. Something's just not right there. And
Yeah, I
so
know.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's just I don't know, maybe Liam Cohen just doesn't like him that much or something. Something
Yeah.
behind the scenes, mentally maybe, off the field issues. Who knows?
It could also just be like teams checking in on like such a talented player that's like
Yeah.
clearly not working out.
Yeah.
So like, why wouldn't you? Like, imagine him to the Pats. Like, I'm sure you'd be thrilled
Yeah.
like to have Drake May as number one receiver,
Oh,
like clear
yeah.
cut. I mean, well, by talent wise.
Oh,
So, but yeah, we're not gonna talk about something that never
yeah, I
happened.
think there's an upgrade for Jacoby though for sure. And
Yeah,
then in
yeah,
terms for the Raiders, Bowers to the moon already had a hell of a day
yeah.
in the
He's
bag.
back. He's
But
back.
yeah, I think this just boosts him even more. And then Trey Tucker, I think too.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Exactly. Yep. Trey.
yep.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's a great situation for Trey now because
Yeah.
Geno can sling it still. Like he just like he's like
Yeah.
Jameis. Like
Yeah.
he can have games like he did with
Bowers
just
and Tucker.
Bowers.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a good point. Trey Tucker. I
Yep.
didn't even think of that.
The other relevant fantasy trade was Rashid Shaheed getting sent to the Seahawks.
Yeah.
To me, he's the immediate two behind JSN. He can stretch the field. I think it might be a slight knock to JSN, if I'm being honest, in terms of target share. I think this is great news for Rashid Shaheed. Get to just a better offense with Kubiak again as his offensive coordinator. So I think it's a boost to Darnold as well. It's a boost for the Seahawks as a whole. Maybe a slight hit to JSN, although I would not worry at all because it's JSN.
Yeah, I think Jason has really gotten to the territory of like being like that CD Lamb
He is.
Jefferson type of guy where
He's
like
there
he'll
already.
get his stuff, his points, I mean fantasy points, but he'll get his targets, receptions, regardless of what's
Yep.
going on inside the game. But yeah, Shaheed, like you mentioned, it's like kind of that deep ball kind of player. That's what he
Yep.
was. So we'll see if that switches up his playing style of like Darnold's a much better QB than what he was dealing with in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So, but it kills Torrey Horton for all
It
the
does kill
not
Torrey
kill, but
Horton.
like
Well, because Cooper Cup is there too.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it does kill Torrey
But Horton
Horton.
has kind of been like this fun story
Cup.
that's since
I don't
camp kind of
remember
turned
that
up in
much.
terms of even last week scored 2 touchdowns. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, good move for the Seahawks. Good for
Great.
them going
Yeah.
forward.
As for the Saints, I think it just consolidates targets to Olave even more.
Yeah.
Olave and I think Juwan Johnson maybe a little bit too. Maybe some more check downs too. But that offense looked terrible under Tyler Shuck. So
hmm
yeah.
Some one thing quick like didn't happen, but something I fell in love with the idea of happening like today when we were talking about the trade deadline is Olave to the Bills. Like I really wanted
Ooh,
that to
that
happen.
could have been nice.
Like just like kind of the reincarnation of like Diggs on the
Yeah.
Bills. Didn't happen. So it doesn't, but I was just thinking of that, like from a fantasy perspective, like where would you put Olave
If
if
he
he
was
went to
on
the
the Bills.
Bills?
I'd probably keep him around the same if I'm being
Same?
honest,
Really?
like a
Okay.
top 20 guy. Um, just because we don't know how they utilize guys. Everybody hyped up Amari Cooper,
True. That's
and
true.
then Amari Cooper did nothing. So I think I would have to see it first before I could bump him up. And some people would bite. So I would
Oh
maybe even
yeah.
try selling high on
Yeah.
Olave just in that deal.
It
But
didn't happen, but I was
hypothetical,
just thinking
yeah,
about that. Like that'd be
hypothetical.
a crazy
I
move.
wanted Kamara to get moved. I
Yeah.
thought maybe the Pats would go get him.
Really?
I was hoping for that a little bit. There's also Brees. I wanted Brees to get moved.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Jets, they sold house. This isn't fantasy relevant, but awesome to talk about. Sauce Gardner to the Colts and Quinnen Williams to the Cowboys. They got three firsts and a second between the two of them, plus two players. So quite the haul. They're hitting the reset button.
I mean, it's not fantasy relevant in terms of like the players being moved, but like it's clear what the Jets' intentions are. Like they don't want to win games. Like
Attack the
high
Jets
draft pick,
defense.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that could be a theme going forward with like this was a pretty talented defense name wise.
Yeah. Now
Maybe
they're
not like
not.
performance. So like you take
Now
those
they're
names
not.
out, they clearly don't want to win. They're
Yep.
moving to the future, get high draft picks. So
Yep.
that's the fantasy relevance a little bit, but for the names don't really matter.
Yep. Yep, for sure. All right. I think that's that. Let's get into the games. This one we definitely had to talk more notes today. But yeah, let's start Thursday night. Ravens blow out the Dolphins.
Yep.
Lamar is back. Well, I think we can keep these shorter today.
Okay.
Yeah, Lamar is back.
Big time.
Must start. Where do you rank him rest of the season?
It's got to be like top five easily. Like,
Yeah,
and
I
then
think I'd argue like top two.
yeah, no, the only thing of like I don't say like the Josh Allen Hurts kind of Mahomes territory is just because like he didn't rush nearly he didn't really have to, but the hamstring does kind of worry of like the rushing part of his game if
Possibly.
that is like that elite tier. But like they wouldn't bring him back unless like especially at this point in the season when
Yeah.
they were 2-5
Well, they
going into this
needed
game.
him. Yeah.
They needed him, but at the same time they lose this game. Like, what's the deal? But
Yeah.
like they won it. But
Well, yeah.
the only piece like that rushing upside I'm a little cautious about. But I did make I don't even think I told you that we were talking. I made a move
Oh,
for
you
Lamar.
did. What'd
I
you
don't know why
trade?
I didn't text you this. I traded Dak and T. Higgins.
So you did that
I
trade.
did.
Okay.
It required some back and forth with the guy I made the trade with, but I made it right Thursday night before
See,
the
that's the
game.
one I told you to
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, and that was we talked through that trade.
He went
He had a
crazy
big
too.
game,
Yeah.
but like at the same time,
You got
it's
Lamar.
very
Yeah.
variable. Like in terms of Jamar's on that team, T's gonna
Yeah.
have big weeks, but it's always Jamar. But
Yeah.
Lamar, like I got a quarterback that I can rely on putting up 20 plus every week.
Hmm.
And that's for the playoff push. So I
Yeah.
forgot to mention that to you. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Crazy.
big
Yeah.
trade.
Nice. Derrick Henry, he's been rushing well. You like to see that. As
Hmm.
for the receivers, we'll talk a little more later. I think Flowers is still the lead guy. Like you can be more comfortable with Flowers moving forward
With
with Lamar
Lamar,
back.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, nothing too much about the Ravens. As for the Dolphins, Tua is. I started him in our super flex league. I was like, oh, Tua, great matchup against the Ravens, and he
Yes.
was terrible. Devon Achane just gets it done every week. Waddle too. There's really not much else you want from this team. We talk about it every week. So yeah, I mean Tua. The only news really with the Dolphins is there is a lot of talk that Tua could lose his job.
Yeah.
So what that would look like, we'll talk about it if it happens. As for now, I think you can really only trust Waddle and HN.
And also one quick note, outside of the game, they fired their GM.
They
So
did,
I think
yeah.
with the moves that teams are making, like we just
And
talked about the
then
Jets, they're selling house. You know their intentions in terms of what they want to put out on the field.
they made a move too. They traded Jalen
Oh,
Phillips,
yep,
their
to the
edge rusher, to
Eagles.
the
Yep.
Eagles for a third.
So like you can kind of read into those intentions of like you said, like is Tua going to
They
be the
might.
guy? Do they want to just tank the season, go pick a quarterback high?
Yeah.
Like
They're 2-7.
so,
Yeah.
and if Tua goes out, like he's not been productive, but like that dramatically affects Waddle
Yeah.
and those types of receivers. So like I don't even know who their backup is, but I it was Zach
It's
Wilson.
it's Zach Wilson, and then they have Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Yeah.
it's one of the two.
So
Um,
like that's something to take into account, even though they didn't make
yeah,
major
something to
moves.
note. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh, this was a fun one.
game of the
Bears,
week.
Bengals. Yeah, Bears, Bengals. Bears win last second. The Bengals, disappointing. I think it was Chase Brown was pissed off with the defense or something. I don't know.
Mm,
But yeah, Caleb Williams had 38 points. He had a hell of a week.
yep.
Kyle Monangai, 176 rushing yards. Colson Loveland, your start of the week, 6 for 118 and
Finally
two.
hit on a rookie.
Yep. DJ Moore, no receiving touchdowns, but he had a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown.
Yeah.
So this was just a great game. I mean, very clearly out of this game, attack the Bengals as much as you
Yeah.
can.
Yep. Yep.
This is now the same situation as the Cowboys defense. Target them. Any player going against this team you want to start. Unfortunately, in this matchup, Roma Dunze got nothing. Goose.
If I were to tell you that Caleb put up 40 fantasy points and
Yeah,
Real had
that's
zero
zero.
catches, the
Yeah.
odds of me saying, yeah, like I would, no doubt, I
Are
would
you worried about Rome?
hint. I'll just say no. I'm
Okay.
not.
I am. I am a
I
little
think that
worried
definitely
about Rome
fair. Definitely
because
fair.
in the last 4 weeks he has one game in double digits, and three of those games were like 5 points or less. So that's why I'm worried. And they've all been good matchups. Matchups get harder moving forward. But yeah, Rome, I think he should be better moving forward at the least. I just
Yeah,
don't think if we can talk about him as a wide receiver one rest of the season like we were
I think
earlier
that's
in the
fair.
year.
I'd
Yeah.
agree. I'd agree.
Yeah. Monongai though, I think it's going to be an even split when Swift comes back.
Yeah, we talked about like a quote like, before we started.
Mhm.
Like you could take this quote either way, but basically Ben Johnson said like he did this at Rutgers. He's a bell cow back. He proved that today when we need him.
Yeah.
So they clear this as a week where they need him. Swift was out.
Yep.
Like I think that says that when Swift comes back, he's still going to have that Swift role of making catches, being involved, getting goal line carries. But Monungai's now like a viable, like it's going to be not Swift's not going to be this like I think he was a top 10 running back overall in fantasy
Oh yeah.
before
Yeah.
this week. He was putting up
Swift. Yeah.
numbers. So maybe it's not that same Swift we saw the first 8 weeks, but
Yeah.
Monungai had he got a lot of people are saying Swift got Rico Dowdled that
I
Monungai
don't think
puts up.
so.
No, I don't think so
The
either.
problem
But
is if he did this against a good defense, okay.
yeah,
But
that's
this was
true.
the Bengals.
It was also
So
such a
we
weird
need
game.
to see it again, I think. Like Rico did it when Chuba was back too.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
that's
That's
why I was
fair.
like, all right, yeah, we can't with both of them, we're putting them both out. Regardless, I think Ben Johnson, he always platooned his guys, even in Detroit. So I think we
Hmm.
can kind of expect the same
Hot
unless
hand,
somebody just
maybe.
goes crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bengals, Joe Flacco looked great again. Chase Brown did not rush very well, but I'm pretty sure he had
8 for
8 for 75 receiving on 14 targets
75.
so, as a running back.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I think Chase Brown is bad. I was wrong. I will admit that I was wrong about Chase Brown. I said he wouldn't change with Flacco, and he very much is back with Flacco.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, he's fine. Like it was a disappointing day, and he still had over 100 yards. T.
17
Higgins
points.
had
Yeah.
over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. So yeah, this offense is back.
Fully
Also good
back.
matchup too for the Bengals.
Good matchup, but I think like you mentioned earlier, Bengals are like fantasy heaven right now. Like their offense
They're
can,
the same as
yeah,
Dallas.
they can keep
Yeah.
up with anyone, but they give up a lot of points, so they remain
Yep.
in the game
Yep.
offensively. So like I think T. Higgins is now like you could start him every week. I would like
I think so.
most weeks, I would say, unless you're like major matchups like the Broncos or someone like that. But like
Yeah.
I think this is a perfect game of like Jamar's gonna get his and T. Higgins could still have a big game.
Yep.
So
They're the AFC Cowboys.
yeah, no, it's a great comparison. But 470 from Flacco. Unreal.
Yeah. Flacco's still doing it,
At what
man.
a yeah.
Vikings, Lions, the Vikings with the upset. JJ McCarthy, first game back. It was solid day for fantasy. He ran for a touchdown, threw for two. Again, only 143 yards, so he's
Mhm.
not doing a lot there. Jefferson got back in the end zone. You love to see. It was a quiet day though. With McCarthy at the helm, it's a quiet day for receiving in
Mhm.
this offense. And it's just I'm worried about everybody, or not worried, but I'm downgrading everybody a little bit with
Yeah.
JJ. And then for the running backs too, Mason ran more, but Aaron Jones looked good. He looked better. So he got banged up, right? But yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just gonna happen with like especially JJ McCarthy coming back after like missing what 5 weeks.
Yeah.
But like
We still haven't seen him throw for 200
yeah,
though.
it is worrisome. I
That's
think
why I need to see it
Jefferson is
still.
a guy that's like always gonna get his, but like you don't like you want to see more
They
from
have a really
that.
nice remaining
Um,
schedule though, so
and it's
hopefully we
Kevin
can
O'Connell.
see something.
Like
Yeah.
you trust him. But
Yep.
also this wasn't like a very easy matchup. Like the Lions are a good team. They have
Yep.
names on defense. So like you
Yeah.
said, schedule coming up, I think we could see better things to come. But McCarthy did look good. Like he was in a low
Yeah.
point when he got injured. So it was good to see them get a win.
The Lions, Goff was okay. Monty and Gibbs continue to split time. It feels weird. Laporta went crazy. Amon-Ra's going to continue to get it done. They were talking about getting JMO more involved, and they did. So I think that's one thing to note. Maybe we can see a little bit more of that moving forward, but it's still very clear this offense runs the same. There's
Mhm.
nothing really to talk about from this game.
Yeah, no, not really yet. I mean, Laporta's put stacked together a couple of good weeks in a row.
Yeah.
He seems to kind of be returning back to that year one for me.
Yeah, I feel like with that offense, it's like it's Amon-Ra and either Laporta or JMO.
Yeah,
You really
yeah.
can't have both.
Hmm.
Panthers upsetting the Packers. You want to talk about that?
I first of all, I think the Packers are like the only team in the league that could beat anyone in my mind and also lose
Lose
to
to
anyone.
anyone.
Their two losses against the Panthers and Browns, and they
Yeah,
tied the Cowboys.
yeah,
It's so frustrating, but Yeah, Jordan Love was my start of the week. He had a dud,
Flop.
didn't play well. This is what he does. I think that's why it was like you had him as a sell. It could go either way. Like I thought in his history, he heats up this time of year, but also
It's
like
very matchup
he's very,
dependent.
yeah, matchup
Very
dependent, very
matchup dependent.
inconsistent.
He
But
lost Kraft too in this
yeah,
game,
yep,
so
yep. But Jacobs had a good
Jacobs, he
game.
gets
He
it
he
done
is what he
every
is. Like
week.
he just is a touchdown machine.
Every week.
Watson, I mentioned, he has that big playability. He only had 2 catches though, and Dobbs was clearly the guy with Kraft going down,
Yeah.
7 for 91. The Packers offense is just hard to trust in fantasy. I think Dobbs is the guy that you could trust as a
The
start.
receiving
He's
core.
kind of been a red zone threat his whole career, especially this year. He had that 3 touchdown game earlier in the year against Dallas, actually. But
Mhm.
Dobbs is really the only receiving option I would trust. Watson in a deep play like flex, I
Yep.
could see, but
Do you like Musgrave?
I don't know. That was like surprising to me to like clearly he's the option, but like when Kraft was in, Musgrave never played, and they would still play other tight ends. They that like weren't really. I think it was more so for blocking, but
Mm.
I don't see the same ability as Kraft.
Yeah.
Not even close. I
Yep.
don't think Musgrave is really worth an ad, personally. But uh, yeah, no. I think that would just be reaching just because of what Kraft did. But Kraft
Yep.
is a beast.
Yeah. Love Jacobs too. I think
Oh yeah.
that's all
Yeah,
fair.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
gonna go
I
eat up.
trust Dobbs most too. He had 7 for 91, which is 16 points in a PPR league, which is
Yeah.
very consistent.
Yep.
For the Panthers, it's Dowdle again, and Dowdle went crazy. This backfield was my sit of the week for running back. I said sit them both, and Rico outcarried Chuba 25-5, had 130 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. I mean, man, we talked about a little bit sneaky buy
Hmm.
low last week.
Yeah. You kind of miss it now.
I missed that, but people didn't bite, and I'm pretty sad because he's that good.
Yeah.
Tough matchup, and he ran for 130. He's ridiculous. Tet's gonna still get it done, but it feels like the floor is lower than we had hoped. But
Hmm.
it still feels like he's gonna be pretty steady all year.
Just the more I look at this box score, like how did the
Rico,
Packers lose this game? I
yeah,
just went through for 100 yards, and like
yeah,
Rico just, but
it's
yeah, no,
Rico.
Ted, like he doesn't have like, all right, this could definitely be considered a dud. Like 4 for 46 isn't a good fantasy game, but
No,
like he always kind of like he put like I don't know,
he is the
this is
guy
what you
there.
want to see
Yeah.
in terms of like a rookie year. Like we just haven't seen that
We just need to
massive
see more
game.
passing volume.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah. But
I
the
mean,
Panthers are
you
still in
said
it. They're
he
five and
threw
four.
102 yards, Bryce Young,
Yeah,
and
half of it.
had half of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So Ted, that's what you want to see. I think you could still
yeah,
start him
they are good,
almost
dude. This
every week.
Panthers team is actually good.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well, they Packers should lose, but yeah, they're good.
5-4 Panthers,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Chargers beat the Titans. Herb looked pretty good. Um, Yeah, Gadsden still he got it done, lad. It was a down week. Keenan was a down week. Quinton was the one to get in the end zone. We talked about this last
Yeah.
week, where it's just going to be this cycle. You can't produce for all four of them every
Mhm.
week. This week you couldn't produce for Keenan. Lad was okay. Gadsden, it was a great week for a tight end. And Quinton got the touchdown, so it was a good week for him. But I think this is just what's going to happen. Like I don't think we can. You have to understand that it's going to be that way. I really do at this
Yeah.
point. We're seeing it now in live time too.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, I mean, Ladd and Quinton had essentially the same stat line, except Quinton
yeah,
got the
Quinton got the
touchdown, like you
touchdown.
said.
Is the touchdown guy
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So we have to acknowledge that. But yeah,
Yeah,
I would
but
agree.
Gadsden just looks like he's going to be a problem.
Gadsden's
Like
good.
for this, like he's good. Like across the field,
He's
deep,
really
like deep
good.
shots down. He caught another 34-yard bomb, like for his long.
I saw a tweet, I think it was a tweet. Somebody said he looks like almost like AJ Brown at tight end.
Really?
And I was like, that's a crazy comparison, but like he does move like a receiver.
Yeah.
A
No,
big
yeah,
receiver.
yep, he
Yeah.
does. So like that's cool to see Herbert get a tight end
Yeah.
again. Like this
Yep.
receiver room is loaded. Herbert's putting up a monster
Yeah,
year. Like he's
he's
had
been
like
great. He
3 25
has every
point games in
weapon.
a row. And he's
And
doing it on the
now and they
ground
lost
too.
Joe Alt. They
Yeah.
did trade for Trevor Penning today, get a new tackle
Okay.
because they lost Slater and Joe Alt for the year.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
needed that. Kamani Vidal, my start of the week against the Titans and he
I
ran
know.
12 for 30. It's just come on. I think he's going to be fine, honestly. He's going to be like a low end RB2 until Hampton comes back.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it just sucks because it was a great matchup.
And we said that like this feels like one that can't go wrong, but
Yeah,
it I
we'll
started
talk
it,
about that more
but
later.
yeah.
But yeah, Titans, it's just don't pick up any. Like at this point, like literally just don't pick up anybody. Tajay Spears has actually had like 7 or more points every week he's been back. So he's actually been okay. He had that one like 17-point week because he gets that receiving work a little bit too. So he had 3 for 36 through the air this
Yep.
week. I had to start him in one league and he got me like 9 points as my RB2 and I was like, that's fine.
That's fine.
It's fine. I
But
think
that
honestly,
things to start me.
he's like the only one I'd want to own in this offense. Tony Pollard, I don't even know what to do with anymore.
I agree. It's probably just Spears. And DK was getting some Chimere
Pollard
DK
was in
was getting
trade
some
talks too.
was
So
he? Yeah.
yeah.
But DK was getting some hype going in this week, like back-to-back 15
Jameer,
point
yeah.
weeks, but threw up a dud. It just shows you can't trust Cam Ward to support any fantasy receiver. But
Yeah.
that's really it on. Titans are just a dumpster fire right now.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a close game though.
It
Like
was close,
it
yeah.
wasn't easy for the Chargers.
Yeah, I think they had like a defensive touchdown, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
My New England Patriots win. Thank you to Parker Romo, who was a former Patriots kicker, missing the extra point, giving us the win. He's a Patriot for life. Yeah, as for the Patriots, Drake May looked good again. And this is a brutal defense. And he looked
Yeah.
great. Demario Douglas had the day. It was 4 for 100 and a touchdown. Diggs got in the end zone. I mean, they just spread the ball. We've talked about this. They just spread the ball.
Mhm.
I would still trust Diggs the most. Running, uh, yeah, Terrell Jennings stole vulture Travion's
I don't
touchdown.
even know if we could call it vultured at this point. It's
But
just like,
Travion looked good. He
yeah,
got a lot of
yeah, he did.
snaps. So again, this is a good defense, the
Mhm.
Falcons. So I'm actually not discouraged. A lot of people are going to be, it's not Travion's year. Well, there was a lot of talk about the Patriots going to trade for a running back, and they didn't. So as long as Ramondre's out, which is rumored to be turf toe now, which is a multiple week injury.
Yeah.
If it is turf toe, like Henderson, start him as an RB2 moving forward. It's a good schedule moving forward too.
Yo,
Not the best against Tampa this week, but yeah, I mean, I feel pretty confident in Travion.
yeah, this was a game that we both kind of was like this is a game to watch, like especially for the Pats and Drake May. And Drake May again like showed up.
Yeah,
Not only like but for fantasy too. Like he had a good fantasy day.
yeah.
Um
It was decent. It was
yeah,
decent.
yeah, decent, but
Yeah,
like
Penix actually had a great day.
yeah, he looked good.
Bijan was Bijan. He's going to get it done. If it's not on the ground, it's through the air. Again, the Patriots held a running back under 50 yards. Nobody has rushed for 50
And
against
this
them
is
this season.
Bijan
Yeah,
Robinson.
he
Like
went 12 for 46. Yeah, Drake London with the hat trick.
monster. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I, there's nothing to talk about. Just start Drake London and Bijan every week.
Yep.
Penix, you could spot start, I believe.
Yep.
So
Yeah, yeah, matchup, especially with like a tough New England defense. He
yeah,
looked good.
yeah, absolutely.
Efficient too, which was been
Yeah,
his
he
problem.
was, yeah. Giants, Niners. The Niners get it done. Mac continues to produce pretty decently while Purdy's on the shelf. McCaffrey again, 28 carries, over 100 yards, touchdown. He got one through the air too, I think.
Yep.
Brian Robinson got a touchdown in this one. McCaffrey led the team in receiving and scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
What do you do with Kittle at this point? Because it was another disappointing week. Juwan Jennings had a good game too, but yeah, what do you do with Kittle?
I think just like with the state of the tight end position, you like have to start him every week regardless. But I'm not worried when Brock Purdy comes back. Like Kittle's an he's automatic top five play, but like
Mhm.
that's when Purdy comes back, top two, three
Yeah,
play in my mind.
I like
So
that.
I'm not worried until Purdy comes back.
Yeah, I think Juwan's a pretty good option right now too. I think he's starting to look healthier, so that's good news for him. As for the Giants, Jackson Dart again, and he scored on the ground,
Yep.
27 points, something like that.
Yeah.
He's ridiculous.
Big day.
Wandale had a lot of receptions this
Nine
week.
for
This was
46.
like the classic Wandale though, like not a ton of yards,
Yeah.
ton
Yeah.
of receptions, not a ton of yards.
Yep. Yep.
Other guys are getting in the end zone. But the story for the Giants is the running back room because Scatterboo went down. People spent bank in their fab on Tyrone Tracy, and actually he got out carried by Devin Singletary. So here, well, while we're thinking about that, let me pull up what the snap count is. I'm actually really curious about that.
I think in general, like Singletary's the guy to have if you
Yeah,
want to have a
yeah,
person in that backfield, just because of like Tracy's not a receiving option. Like it's clear
yeah.
that when they're down in a game, which they most likely will be in most of their
What they
games
get for
going forward,
targets each of them?
uh, Tracy did actually
They get
have
four.
more targets.
Yeah,
So,
4-2. Singletary was on the field more though. It was 56-44. That
okay.
was the split. So I think both are kind of unappealing options, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, no, I
Maybe
mean,
like a good maybe like an all RB3, like you could flex them, but
yeah, I think
yeah,
it's again, it's like that
matchup.
Pollard
Yeah,
Spears. Like
it
you
does feel
don't
that
want to
way.
start them. Like you
Yeah.
shouldn't have to. If you are, you're in a rough
Also,
spot.
I don't think we talk about this enough. The Giants are a bad offense. Jackson
Yeah.
Dart just makes them
Is
look
yeah.
unreal because Jackson Dart's fantasy outing is always good. It doesn't matter. Like, there's not many pieces you want in this offense for fantasy right
You
now.
know,
Like Slayton, don't really want. Wandale would be the guy, but yeah,
yeah. One thing before we move on from this game, just to like make a point of it at this point in the year, I think it is the time to start considering like handcuffs for your top
yeah,
guys. I only bring it up because like Brian Robinson, especially for a guy like CMC, if you have bench room,
yeah.
don't like
If
go out
you
of your
have
way to
room,
drop
if
a
you have
guy
room,
that you could play on a bye week,
yeah,
like a guy like Trey Tucker that just got a boost. Like don't go and drop him for Brian Robinson.
right.
But like
You
consider
have
it.
the
If
space.
you're like a 7-2 team with C-Mac, even 6-3, higher 8-1, like go make room for Brian Robinson so
I think
that
so.
you have the insurance for McCaffrey. We don't want to speak on it because he's doing what we all wanted him to do,
Yep.
but like it's a potential possibility. So go make room for those handcuffs for guys that are like high end Algier. Like go get guys like that because an injury could happen at any
Yeah,
point.
anybody who's actually like a good handcuff
Yeah,
too. Like you don't
exactly.
want a guy who's a bum, but anybody who could actually take over, be a three down back and an immediate like RB15 or better. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yep.
So,
But back up the guys that are getting you to the playoffs so that if something does
yep.
happen, you can easily just like plug and play a guy
Plug
that's
and
not going to
play.
be the
Yep.
same, but like you at least have some insurance.
Yep.
All right, what do we got next?
Let's see. We have
Colts.
the Steelers upset over the Colts. Daniel Jones looked pretty poor this game. He did. I started him in a league. He was my start of the week, and it was really disappointing. The Steelers defense just turned it up.
Yep.
Jonathan Taylor had a down week. Pittman looked good again. Josh Downs got in the end zone. Alec Pierce went deep. He looked good.
Yeah.
I think Alec Pierce should be on radars.
Really?
I think this offense is just they're doing enough where you could own any of the four guys, whether it's Tyler Warren, Downs, Pittman, or Pierce.
It could be like a Walmart version of like the Chargers receiving room where
Yeah,
it's like
low
not a but it's
key.
a guy, bunch of guys that like someone's gonna get it. A couple
Yeah.
guys are gonna get theirs and
Pierce is a deep ball guy, and it's worked very well with Daniel Jones so far this year.
yeah.
So
But in
yeah,
terms of Taylor, I'm not worried.
oh, no,
He's a
no.
monster.
I think this offense is still on pieces of people are I knew it was gonna come for Daniel Jones. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? One bad game. I mean, he hasn't had a picks at all this season, so he had a game with three picks. Who
Yep.
cares?
Yep.
I
Exactly.
think he's gonna be just fine. I
Yeah,
think this
I
offense
agree.
is very good.
I agree.
So yeah, as for the Steelers, yeah, Jalen Warren is very clearly the running back in the room. Two touchdowns, inefficient day, but two touchdowns. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, receiving was weird. DK disappeared in this game, 2 for 6. But yeah, I think that's kind of been the story for some guys against the Colts. Like
yeah.
Sutton disappeared early on in the
Colts are a
season
good
against them. So
defense.
yeah,
They're
are
just a
you
good
worried
team.
about DK at all?
I think it's just been like I don't know. He is what he is. Like I
Yeah,
think he needs to catch a touchdown to have a good fantasy day. He's not going to get the targets, receptions to like make up for it.
that's how I feel.
But it was a tough matchup. But like the Steelers put up 27 points and win the game. You think DK is involved in some way.
Yeah.
I will say quickly on Jalen Warren, like I was kind of, you were always kind of like
I'm
you
all in
you
on
like
Warren.
Jalen
Yeah.
Warren, you know, I was kind of questioning like, does Gainwell get involved? This was like a clear game to see like Warren got both of the goal line touches,
He got
scored two
everything. Yeah.
touchdowns. And he has like he didn't do it as much today, but like he only had two receptions, but he has the receiving
Oh,
upside
he
too.
is a
So like
lot.
he's a very like
They're using Gainwell more in the receiving game, but
yeah,
yeah, he can catch the ball.
but the goal line carries was the big thing for me
Yeah.
and like high end RB2 going forward, I
Yeah,
think.
if we
So
look at this snap split too, he doesn't play a ton. Like it was 56% of snaps this week. Gainwell got 37, but I think he's still a locked in RB2.
yeah,
They're giving him all the work.
no,
So,
as an owner in a couple leagues, that was good to see that
yeah.
like he's getting that work.
Yep. Broncos Texans. Broncos got it done. Bo Nix actually performed decently for fantasy. Not not the greatest stat line, but for fantasy, it was decent day against a really good defense.
Two good
So
defense just going at it. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, Harvey 5 for 51 and a touchdown through the air, but it's still Dobbins in this backfield. He got all the carries again. Like
Yeah.
it was a down day for Dobbins, but again, tough defense. I'm actually I think Dobbins is a great opportunity to buy. I think he's going to be very good moving forward.
Yeah, Harvey's such a like a, again, we talked about he had three touchdowns the week before and we were like not
Yeah,
excited about it.
he was my
Like
sell.
but it is kind of good that he does have some sort of value that
He is getting a little more.
like because most of it has been like blowout, like kind of touchdowns where they're up big. He's just the guy in because Dobbins is taking a back seat when they're up big. But like this was a close game the whole most of the game, and it was actually a comeback when Harvey got involved on the offense.
Yeah.
Still had a good fantasy day, so
Yep.
I don't think you could trust him as a weekly play yet. But like
I wouldn't.
no, yeah, but like
Sutton too. Sutton got blanked. Well, not
he
blanked, but
got blamed.
he had one catch on 6 targets. It went for a touchdown, a 30-yard touchdown.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was not a good like be afraid when playing Houston. I think it's just very clear at
yep,
this point.
yep.
So bad day overall, it feels like for the Broncos. For the Texans, Woody Marks and Nick Chubb splitting carries. Yuck. That's not great. Dalton Schultz, decent day. Nico Collins was fine. He had like 11 targets. So
Hmm.
yeah, I wouldn't
Seven
worry about
catches too.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, but not really much else fantasy wise to talk about for
Yeah,
this
for
game.
the Texans though, I want to pull up. I just want to see the snap count if it's any different.
For
Woody Marks got 48 to 36% of the snaps
yeah,
with Nick Chubb. So it could become it maybe buy low on Woody right now, potentially.
I like that call. I think just like also the receiving upside, there's zero
Yeah.
for
He's
Chubb
way
and like
there's a good
Marks.
defense too.
Yeah, yeah. So like Woody had zero receptions this game, so like complete dud of a fantasy day. But
Yep.
like overall, like you said, good defense. No one really had big days.
Yep. Overtime win for the Jaguars over the Raiders. Yeah, Trevor is a bum. ETN though, he got all the work. Actually, Trevor's doing fine just because he's rushing the touchdowns in. But ETN, he had a great day. 22 carries for 84 yards. He had some receiving work, 5 for 31 too.
Hmm.
Tootin got in the end zone, but I'm pretty sure ETN had like 5 carries inside the 5 on 3 different drives.
He
So
just couldn't
he
find
could
it.
have had 1, 2, 2, 3 touchdowns, and he still had a good day.
Yeah.
Like I was talking about ETN, I kind of liked him last week and potentially trading for him. He was on the block in our league. You went and got him.
I think it was more
So,
so like it just came to me. Like it was it was a weird situation where like the Gibbs owner, I had
well, he
Montgomery,
offered
he
you, yeah,
wanted the
yeah,
handcuff
he
for
wanted Montgomery.
Monty, which makes sense. It's kind of what we were just talking about with guys
Yep.
like Brian Robinson, but at a much bigger scale. Like if
But yeah,
Gibbs were to go down,
yeah,
Monty's
Monty's
like a
top passive.
massive
Yeah,
play. But yeah, that was kind of the situation there. But that is on the 2-7 team, so that doesn't move the scale much for me.
no, but
But
still,
yeah, but
like
it was
it's nice to see that with ETN
yeah,
getting all the work.
yeah,
Yeah, we talked about the receivers already, but Parker Washington, 8 for 90. Like I think he's worth a pickup. I really do. And we'll
yeah.
see what it looks like with Myers.
Hmm.
For the Raiders, Geno looked good with Brock Bowers back, and Brock Bowers went for 43 fantasy points.
Yeah.
12 for 127 and three touchdowns. Genty got in the end zone and through the air too, 5 for 47 and one. On the ground, he was a little inefficient, but I think the Jags have a good rush defense. So I think it's actually like, okay, who cares?
Yo.
But the fact that he's getting a lot of receiving work now too is a big sign for Genty.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and on the topic of Bowers, I'm almost mad at ourselves that we never put him as like a buy low. Like through this whole
did we
injury,
never?
I don't think we did. And like I honestly, I'll personally
No,
admit,
no,
like
no.
it's somehow like I forgot about Brock Bowers just because he had been out for like so many weeks, and then it was just like, oh yeah, this dude can put up 40 fantasy points in his sleep. So
There's no
I
way
don't
we
think we
never said
did.
it.
I don't think so.
I'm looking through now because
I really don't think we did, but like that's the reason that you spend a second round pick on Brock Bowers. Um, if you could get through this point in the fantasy season with him being out,
wow, we've had a
congratulations.
lot of buy Mason Taylor on here.
Yeah, I think we went lower scale, but like I don't know how we forgot. Like I'll personally admit I forgot about Brock Bowers somehow. Maybe it's because I don't have him in any leagues, but. My God, like this, the clear, it's clearly over now. You missed your shot, but
Oh yeah. He was, in we're Vinny and I are also in a yeah, wow, we actually did not put him in anywhere. Vinny and I are in a 16 team league with like some of the kids in our cohort here, and somebody dropped Bowers. And then
I think
Drew
that,
picked him up.
oh, good,
Drew
good for
just picked
Drew.
him up. Drew's gonna win the league. But yeah, the fact that he was dropped in a 16 team league and it slipped my mind to even reconsider it.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
man.
I was like, oh well, I have Kittle. I don't need to go get back. Go get Bowers.
I really just forgot about him,
Yeah,
but he's
yeah.
back full form.
Imagine I was starting Bowers and Kittle, like Kittle and my
You could,
flex.
you
Yeah.
could, you absolutely could.
Anyways, yeah, that's a great point. I cannot believe we never did
Yeah,
Bowers as a
I was
buy low.
shocked too.
But Rams beat down on the Saints. That offense, I don't even really want to talk about the Saints. That offense was just not good
Is
with Tyler Shough. I mean, Kamara, he had point 7, point
yeah,
6 for 14.
he's been a
He had
major
1 for 3 through the air. Like he's not even getting targeted through the air. Like, what do you do?
I don't
I
know. It's
don't,
super, like you said earlier, I wish he got moved. It's kind of frustrating that, like, yeah, I guess you can't blame a guy for wanting to stay put. There's other things involved besides just football. Like
yeah.
his family might be there, whatever. But like, it sucks because I don't think this is a Kamara issue. I just think it's the flow of the offense. Like Shuck is
He is having his worst season
ever. Oh
historically.
yeah,
Well,
and
like even like rushing, like it is
efficiency
inefficient.
wise,
Yeah, he
yeah.
is
But
inefficient.
you really can't blame him. Like
I
this is a
know.
dumpster
I
fire
know.
of a team. So like it would be cool to see him get moved. Like this kind of
I
seems sort of is
wish,
leaning toward
man.
the end of his career if he just
Yeah.
wants to stay put there. So yeah, brutal situation for
This team
him.
sucks.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Why did they Tyler Shaw? He's so bad. All right, the Rams, Stafford again 4 touchdowns. He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Kyron again workhorse 25, 114 and a touchdown. Corum got some decent carries in garbage time. Puka, he's gonna get it done regardless.
Did that all in the first half. He had 7 for 95 and a
Yeah.
score.
Devontae Adams 2 touchdowns. I put him in a parlay I made as anytime touchdown. He
Okay.
had two. Like he's just always in the end zone.
Yeah.
This offense is like if one guy goes down, it drops off a lot, but they're so top heavy and talented that it's unreal. Stafford is still just unbelievable. One of the most underrated QBs of all time.
Yeah. No,
Like
very true.
genuinely.
And I also think Devontae has been quietly one of like the better values in drafts where like
Low
he
key. I was
produces.
very off with
Yeah,
him too.
I was higher than
You
you,
were
but like
higher than
I had
me.
him like closer to my top 10, but like I didn't picture this where like he's doing it with Puka having good
Well, I
games.
think we talked about it is like if anybody gets it done, we know it could be Devontae. It
Hmm.
was just weird because he's not the one. It's still Puka. And big issue for me was Stafford's health with the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah,
And
going
he's
into the
been
year.
unbelievable. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, the fact that Stafford is healthy and been really good, it just doesn't surprise me at all. I just didn't want to buy in with the back injury. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was a call. I missed on it. Oh
But I
well.
just think Devontae like can do it with Puka. Then if Puka goes down, he scored 3 touchdowns in the one game he missed. So
Yeah.
like they're both just monsters. This
Yeah,
offense is
he's nuts.
full flow right now. Even Kyron had a good day on the
Yeah,
ground
you
and a
want some
touchdown.
Rams on your team.
So,
You
yep,
want some Rams on
everyone
your
in the
team.
Rams offense is a go.
Yeah. Next game. I don't think we have too many more.
Bills,
Oh,
Chiefs.
I
We
put
have
I
a
put
few.
some more in my parlay on this. I had JSN over yards. I had Rice over yards, all cash. But of course, this is the one game in a Bills win. James Cook doesn't score on
Oh,
27 carries. But it's I mean, he
Ty
looked
Johnson
good.
featured
He
too.
looked good
Yeah,
though
he's
against
very
a
good.
tough run D. I mean, James Cook, it's just unbelievable how good he's been considering all of what we talked about this offseason.
Again, though, like he's been very good. For a football perspective, like you want him on your team. But
Oh
like
yeah.
in terms of like 13 points isn't a bad day at all, but like that's the case what happens when he doesn't score a
Yeah.
touchdown. So
Yeah.
like that's a little like you said, 27 carries, you're like the
He's
monster
getting
day. He
every
had three
work,
touchdowns again.
every bit of work.
But it is kind of tough to like he had such a good football game, but it doesn't
Yeah.
always translate to fantasy for him.
Yeah, Josh Allen had a couple rushing too, so
Yeah.
that's gonna happen. Kincaid again, he gets no snaps, but gets so much work. He had
Yeah.
6 for 101 and a touchdown. I mean, Shakir, we talked about this every week. Shakir is the receiver you want. Is that 8 targets? Yeah,
Yeah,
eight
seven
targets,
for
seven
eight.
for 43. Like, yeah, those are the two you want in this offense. I think Keon drop him. Like, drop Keon.
Yeah, for
Keon's a
sure.
nobody
I think,
now.
yep.
So yeah, this offense feels almost like the Rams light. Like
Mm.
Josh Allen's getting it done every week. James Cook's getting all the carries. He's getting it done every week.
They're just missing the receiver.
Yeah. I mean, Kincaid and Shakir feel like they're getting it done
Oh
every
yeah, for
week.
a tight end play,
So,
like
yeah.
Kincaid very confidently play him every
It's
week.
so
But
weird to me.
yeah,
He doesn't go on the field.
yeah.
But when he's on the field, they get him the ball.
He's also quietly having a really good
He has
year,
been
like
great.
for a
Yeah.
tight end
He's been great.
perspective.
He had like 20 points this week.
Yep, yep.
Mahomes really down week. The Bills just get to him. The Bills just get to him. Rashard Smith did nothing. Drop him. Kareem Hunt, he got all the work. 11 for 49 and a touchdown.
Mm.
Rashi Rice, 4 for 80. Yeah, I mean, this dude's good. He had
Rushing
rushing
touchdown
touchdown.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Kelsey was okay. 4 for 66. But yeah, Worthy too. It stings. I think Worthy's in a weird spot. It's like if you're in a shallower league, I think it's almost worth like you could drop him if you need to.
That's what I was
Shallow league,
Yeah, that's
like
what I was saying.
10 or less.
That's why I disagreed last week with his floor being like 5 for
Yeah,
50. I think he's more prone to like duds than he is like booms.
yeah.
But yeah,
He's been steady. That's what's weird though. He's been steady. I think it's just like, and the targets are there. He had 7. He tied Rice in targets. It just feels like the offense isn't running through him. And there aren't going to be, this is a game where they needed to throw and it still didn't translate to points.
yeah, that's
So,
what I was about to say. It's a weird, I don't think you can really read too much into it. Like I would hold Worthy for this
yeah,
week for sure, but yeah, it was a weird game where like they needed to score points late and like the yard just didn't translate to fancy points.
yeah,
So that'll happen. But yeah,
yep,
Rashee Rice, everything you dreamt of coming back
yeah,
from that suspension.
yeah, I know, right? Top 5 rest of the season. But
Yeah,
I
I think
mean,
that's not, yeah, I think that's
also
fair.
Bills now, 5-1 for Josh in the regular season against the
Against
Chiefs.
he just can't get it done in the
You can't do it in the
playoffs.
playoffs. Seahawks beat down on the Commanders. Seahawks are legit. They're 6-2. Sam
Yeah.
Darnold looked unbelievable
He didn't have an incompletion in the
in the
first
first
half. He had
half.
four
Yeah.
touchdowns for
Yeah.
250 with
Yep.
no yeah.
Ken Walker and Charbonnet still splitting. Yuck. JSN is awesome.
Yeah. Yep. JSN,
Nice.
yeah, JSN is top 3, top 5, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Like he's that
You
guy.
know his line was 99.5 receiving yards. I
Really.
bet the over and he crushed it
Yeah.
in the first half.
And it's so cool to see him getting in like we said, he is that CD Jefferson type of player. Well,
Yeah.
he'll get it
Yeah.
with receptions. Like Sam Darnold threw 4 touchdowns. Jason
Ohio
didn't get one.
State, man.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
produce. But like he still had 23 fantasy points without a touchdown.
Yeah.
So like he's really reached that elite tier.
Yep. Washington, yeah,
Tough.
Jaden got hurt. I mean, rushing, that was weird. Chris Rodriguez split carries with Bill. I'm curious about what the snaps were, so let's pull that up. But it was, yeah, 46. 40% for Bill, 34 for Chris Rodriguez. So they're giving him the ball more. They're done with Bill. You can bench him. I would not drop him, but
No.
you yet. But with Jaden Daniels out too, like you can bench him and almost if this continues with Mariota, drop him.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Receiving wise, it's only gonna be That's Debo's the only one I'm interested in.
Yeah. Even if Terry comes back, like you can't be confident
No,
playing him.
no. Ertz maybe because that's an outlet always, the tight end. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
ugly.
You just got to monitor what they do with Jaden. Like if it is just
He's
a
gonna be out. He's gonna
dislocation,
be out.
yeah, you got to think that. But like if he is come back, these guys are obviously boosted up,
Yeah,
but like it doesn't look good.
yeah.
Then the final game, we got Cardinals Cowboys. The Cowboys are bums. Um,
All right. I have some breaking news.
oh shoot.
Speaking about the Cardinals, actually, Adam Schefter
Priest.
reports Kyler Murray and the Cardinals have consulted with multiple doctors on his foot injury and have been told the timetables for recovery have been anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks, with an increased chance of setback until it's properly healed. Now he has more time to heal, so they're moving forward with Brissett.
Okay.
Brissett will be the starter moving forward. Um, that's actually big time news. Yeah, let's see. He's sticking with Brissett. Um, yeah. I mean, he named that, and now we're also finding out that Kyler's going to get more time to heal up. But yeah, they named Brissett as the starter moving
And he
forward.
looked good. I mean,
Hell of a breaking news right there.
I thought you were gonna say like a last minute trade or something that we missed, but
Yeah, wow.
Brissett looked good. I mean, it was the
Brissett
Cowboys defense.
Brissett has been producing for these guys though. Trey
Yeah.
McBride got in the end zone again. And then you
Marv
had Marv,
had a
he was my
good day.
start of the week and he
Really?
cooked.
Wow, good
He
call.
cooked.
Yeah.
So that is very much in play. Running backs. Uh we
DeMarcado.
thought it was going to be Bam Knight. He had 57% of the snaps. Mari DeMarcado had 40%, and he had more work though. So really, just wait till Benson's back at this point. Don't start any running back from this Cardinals offense.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I love Trey McBride and Marv moving forward with Brissett. That's awesome for fantasy.
Yeah, no, and I think that was good to see Marv have a good game. I forgot that he was your start of the week. Good
Yeah.
call there.
What do you think happens with Kyler and the Cardinals?
I don't know.
Is
Like
he gone?
how many years does he have left on that deal? It was like a massive
It's a great
deal. It's
question.
because I think that plays a lot into it. Like if
Hmm.
he's healthy next year, you have to start him. You're paying the guy like 40 something million a year probably. So
It's a great
I
question.
think that I would need to know those details, but I think they go move forward with Kyler. Like I think
Probably.
that's their only option.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
We'll see how many weeks though. For now though, Brissett is the starter.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
So
talking about future
yeah,
wise,
but
but yeah.
you love it. Dak, it was okay. Javante, he's getting it done every week. And CD and Pickens. Dude, I love this offense. And
Yeah.
even Ferg with a decent day. We talked about this already with the Bengals. It's like there's enough to go around with everybody.
Hmm.
It's the same with the Cowboys. The one disappointing part is they get down to the goal line on a beautiful, like quick drive too, and they go, Ryan Fournette, touchdown. Like,
Yeah.
dude, why are we throwing a Ryan Fournette? Like,
I
but
think this was a rough game for the Cowboys, but on the bright side, we talked about a lot of teams making trades that like affect their overall outlook, how they produce on the field. I
yeah,
think in the Cowboys case, it was a bleak day, like 3-5, lose to the Cardinals.
yeah,
Offense looked okay, but they're making moves to go for it. They just pick up Quentin Williams. They're moving first round picks.
yep,
Like this offense isn't going to stop doing what they do.
yeah.
So I think that's a good sign because they have some big names
Yeah,
like
that's what Jerry
Stevie.
Jones said. He's like, I'm urgent to win now because I'm getting old.
There you go. I wish I could be that rich to just play
Yeah.
Madden with an
Yeah, play
NFL team
Matt with
worth
them.
billions of dollars just because you're getting old. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, CD and Pickens again, like is continues to prove me wrong in terms of working well with CD Lamb and being able to produce week to week as like a clear wide receiver two option. So
Yeah.
and then CD again, he's one of those top elite guys, had a game. That's his
Yep.
down game, and he put up a good day. So
Yeah.
yeah, nothing else really on that. And
Well, there's the recap.
yep.
Um, yeah, let's hop into waivers here. So Yeah, I added Trey Benson at the top because apparently he's under 50% on ESPN leagues. So
Really?
please add Trey Benson if he's
Wow, that's
available because
surprising.
he is now eligible to get off IR. We'll see how soon it happens, but I mean he's eligible, which is enough to go say pick him up.
And you have to remember with Benson, like he was getting work with Connor before he went
Yep.
down. There was a 1A, 1B kind of
Yep.
thing. He had one opportunity to be the bell cow guy. He got
Yeah, he got
hurt. Like,
hurt.
he
Yeah.
not in the game, but like it was a weird game script.
Yeah.
He was also a second round pick. So like there's a lot of like good things to come out of this. And the Cardinals aren't dead yet. They're still
They're
like kind
three
of
and five.
they're in the hunt a little bit. They're not
Yeah.
gonna kill themselves by like or I don't know, but they're not gonna
Yeah.
just give up on the season.
I mean, they
But
were they were what, 2-0, lost five straight, and then won last night.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you'd like to think they want to get Benson back, hoping to make a run. So
Yeah, no, that's surprising under 50%.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely pick him up.
Wait, what is that number
Where?
in the corner? Grammarly is going crazy over there. Um, Tank Bigsby, just keep an eye on Saquon. Bigsby is worth an ad if Saquon's to miss time.
Hmm.
Like you said, the handcuffs, same with Algier. Um, I did have Isaiah Davis on here. It's much less of a priority now that Breece Hall did not get traded, although he did produce even with Breece in their week before the bye. Spears, he's worth an ad. Dylan Sampson, same thing. Keep an eye on Judkins. If Judkins is the missed time, I'd get Sampson.
Yep.
Corum, high end handcuff. Singletary, worth adding, as we talked about. Priority Benson, easily. Um, as for receiver, Parker Washington, we talked about. Alec Pierce is he's a priority for me. I
Really?
really think, yeah, I'll pull up his numbers. Trey Tucker, I think, is another priority. Christian Watson, I think, is a priority. I think there's a lot of receivers that really need to be picked up this week, especially if you need a receiver. Um,
It's good to see that receivers are like, because I was looking at last week for like some flex plays with injuries, buys, whatever, and it was pretty dry at the receiver position. Like I
yeah,
think it's a, and I'm in leagues where like
yeah, it
people
has been dry.
pick
This
up
is
on
your
these guys
opportunity.
earlier than like than
Yeah.
later. Like Watson was picked up already before he even played a game. So like
Yep.
it's tough, but like if these guys are in your waivers, definitely go get them.
Yep. Booty, he's been good. I think he's going to get dropped because of the injury and stuff too, and he might not miss more than a week. Demario Douglas too, if Booty's to miss time. Tez Johnson, I still think is viable. With the Bucks, they just went on bye, so there's a good chance he's out there. So those are receivers. Here's Alec Pierce's numbers since the start of the year. 4 points in week one, 10, 10. 4 and 5, he was out. He had six in his first game back. He had 14 on 10 targets in week seven. He had eight last week, and then a high eight, 8.9. And then he had 17 this week on
Wow.
13 targets.
Yeah.
So
Wow. I didn't know
I
that.
think he's worth an ad for PPR. He's that deep threat kind of guy. He's a
In a
boom
very
bust.
functional offense
Yeah,
too. Like this isn't
he's a boom bust.
usually if you said Daniel Jones was his quarterback, you'd be like, ah, I'm good.
I'm good.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
but
now
no,
you want him.
they're an elite offense.
Quarterbacks, all three of these guys I think should be added for fantasy. That's Trevor Lawrence, Sam Darnold, and Joe Flacco. Flacco's going to get dropped a lot with them going on by.
Yeah, that's a
Keep
good
an
point.
eye on
Yep.
Flacco. We don't know when Burrow's coming back. They might not even rush him back because their season could be over. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? It
Yep.
could just be done for Burrow. Let Flacco play the rest of the season, pad some stats. So keep an eye on Flacco.
Hmm.
He was already dropped in one of my leagues this week.
Yep.
So yeah, keep an eye there. Tight end, you have Colston Loveland. Hopefully it sticks and it wasn't a product of game script. Mason Taylor, Cade Otton, Isaiah Likely, we've talked about. I think that's a great call. Juwan Johnson, and AJ Barner. I think Barner's been quietly actually very good.
Yeah, no,
So,
really good.
so
Yeah.
uh, maybe drop him a little bit now with Shaheed, but getting into Seattle. But yeah,
Yeah.
my priorities of the week would easily be Benson. I'll say Trey Tucker,
Yeah.
Alec Pierce, and then Flacco and Darnold. Like there's a lot of priorities for me. Depending on position, I think Benson for running back. I'll say Pierce, Trey Tucker, and maybe even Christian Watson
Yeah.
for Green Bay. And then quarterback Darnold and Flacco, and then tight end I'd say Loveland.
Yeah, I'd agree for the most part. Benson for sure. That's wild that like I thought people would just throw him on an IR spot,
Yeah,
but
I
like
yeah.
definitely Benson. I would say Watson's probably the primary. I feel like Tucker, I don't know what his availability is, but I feel like people still have him.
Some people have him.
But
Yep.
Watson, I think, would be my priority at receiver, just because Jordan Love is so very capable of slinging the
Yeah, and
rock.
no
And so,
Kraft now.
yeah,
Golden could miss time,
deep
so
ball
yeah.
guy, speeds there. So
Yep. I
that's
agree
a
with that.
good play there. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, those would be my priorities.
Yep. Droppable candidates. I think you can drop Chuba.
Yeah,
I really do. I
that one
think
stings. I feel
yeah.
for the guy.
I think it's just it's Rico's backfield now. We
Yeah.
saw it. I already said you can drop Bashard Smith. You can drop Judy still if you somehow held him through the bye.
Hmm.
Keon Coleman, droppable. Matthew Golden, I think is droppable.
Yeah,
He's banged
I'd
up
agree.
too.
He hasn't done anything to prove that
Exactly.
he's worth
Yeah.
staying. So
Darnell Mooney, I think, is droppable. Evan Engram, he was goosed this week. He hasn't done much anyways. And I also add Cooper Kupp now that Rashid Shaheed is there. So if you're still
yep,
holding Kupp, you can let go of him.
yep,
So
yep.
yeah, let's do buys and sells. Last week, buys and sells, we did there were a lot of names here. I think some are just like continuation over. Yeah, I won't even get to those. They're so all over the place. So let's just do our buys sells this week. My buys of the week at quarterback is Drake May. Again, tough defense against Atlanta. It was still a decent day. He looked good as a quarterback. This is probably the last chance you can get Drake
And
May because the schedule is nice.
it's still a
So
buy high too. Like
it
you're gonna
is.
have to
Oh yeah,
forego
you'll have
some.
to buy high
But yeah, I see
again.
what you mean.
Yeah.
Like
My buy low at running back is actually Kamara. They have a beautiful schedule. Like it's you look at
really,
sleeper and it's all green the rest of the way.
really
It's all green.
that
So
one.
that's why I'm tempted. I'm like, you could probably trade like nothing
Yeah,
for
that's
him.
fair. That's
Literally,
fair.
he's not worth more than anything. So
Yeah,
this would literally be a buy low and then maybe even drop him if nothing happens.
yeah, that's
Like
true.
that's how low.
He is
I said the
very.
same thing with Pacheco a couple weeks ago and he popped off. I don't think this isn't based on like his snap share or anything,
It's just
but
thought.
I
Yeah.
think this is a potential of like the lowest you can buy him. So
My only worry with that is just like I totally agree. Like he's very cheap. It's not, but like like green doesn't mean anything for the Saints. Like
that's
they're
true.
like
That's
just
true.
horrible. Like so I
They're
like
so
there's no
bad.
such
Like
thing as a good matchup for them. Like they could play the Bengals.
yeah,
I
but
wouldn't start.
they also just got the Rams, which was the number one
Yeah, no,
running
yeah,
back defense to go
that's an
against.
interesting one.
So yeah, Kamara it's very ugly.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
but
yeah.
like you could probably get him for nothing and who knows what he could be. Igbuka, still my buy low. Coming off of three rough games. The target share is still there. Now he's healed up. Kittle, I think he's still a buy low, and with Purdy coming back, hopefully soon, he's also still my buy there. So
Okay. Yeah, so my buy at QB is Daniel Jones. He's been doing it from a fantasy perspective the whole season.
was okay
Had a
this
bit. He
week.
still had threw for 300 yards. He just had three picks. Just
Yeah.
was making kind of mistakes that he's been tied to his whole career up until this year.
Yeah.
But he still has the rushing upside in terms of like scoring a touchdown every now and then from the rushing. And I think he bounces back. That offense is just really good. Proved they've been really good for 8 weeks. I don't think it's a fluke.
Mm.
Bucky's my buy are for running back. Just the injury. Bucky's obviously a massive name coming into this year, but like the Bucks are still very much in it this year. They're gonna might take him back. It might take him a couple games to get back to full form, but I think it's a good time to kind of buy back early before the bounce back really comes to fruition. Odunze, I had him as my buy last week. Obviously didn't work out, but I just think you could replay that game 100 times. He
Even
puts up a
cheaper now.
monster game,
He's even
like
cheaper
90.
now.
I don't know. It just makes no sense. So I think you could go get him. He's shown he could produce at like a wide receiver one level the first 5 weeks of the year. Like Ant mentioned, few bad weeks in a row. I think you go out and get him for a pretty cheap price with a guy that has like wide receiver one upside on a good week. But
Yeah,
maybe not wide receiver one.
I'm on the fence about Odunze. I was considering it, but I'm like, it just hasn't been there through really good matchups too lately.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit worried.
I just think for like not similar to Kamara, but like the price has gotten really low. I
Yeah,
feel like it like
yeah.
people are
It
gonna
is
start
it
to
is low.
overreact. So like you could go make a play that has some upside in it if you're
Yeah,
trying to like make a go for it and you need big plays,
yeah, absolutely.
big players. My tight end buy is Isaiah Likely. Not so much with
I
what he
like it.
did, but on the field this past week, but like last year, it was kind of the passing of the torch from Likely to Andrews. There was all this news. Likely was banged up at the beginning of this year. Lamar comes back. It just looks like they have like such a good connection
Yeah, he
where
went 3 for 60 this week,
yeah,
so
where Andrews is kind of the red zone guy,
Mhm.
but I think we'll just see more and more Likely as he seems to be the guy going forward for the Ravens. I don't think they're going to bring back Andrews next year. So,
Yeah, they were pretty even split. I mean, Charlie Kolar was
he
on
got
the
a
field
touchdown.
too,
Yeah.
yeah. But likely was on the field more than Andrews, so
Yeah.
yeah,
He seems to be like the every other down besides the red zone tight end for the Ravens,
yeah.
which is like a valuable asset,
They run
especially
two
with
tight end
Lamar back.
sets,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's my buy at tight end.
Also, I like that a lot because they have a very easy tight end schedule moving forward. I think
Really?
the number one
Okay. Yeah,
easiest.
because they'll
So
play Cincinnati again.
yeah, they play some nice teams. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Sells of the week. I have yeah, I did what you did with the Vikings a couple weeks ago, sell them. I'm basically selling the Bears. I'm selling Caleb Williams. This was a product of playing the Bengals. So he went off 38 points. You're not going to get a better deal than you can now.
Yeah.
I'm selling RJ Harvey again. I think the snaps are so low. It's still Dobbins' backfield. I know he got in the end zone. He got some work through the air. It just I don't see it happening this season. So I'm selling RJ Harvey again. You might even get more than you could have last week because now it's 2 weeks in a row that he's
Yeah,
produced.
it's
So
it's also a tough one because you can't really like buy him. Like there's people that are holding like I have him a couple leagues and I have no reason to like sell him. I just want to let him sit there and like if Dobbins were to go down, he's a top 12 play on that offense.
mm,
So like
yeah,
like you can't buy him because there's people that are thinking the same thing of like I'm just waiting until something happens.
but that's why
But
I'm
at the same
selling him.
time, yeah,
That's
you
why
could
I'm
very
selling him.
easily sell to those people that wait for something to happen that
Yeah,
don't have him.
yeah. This would be like a good situation, selling to a good team that can let him sit on the bench.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm selling DJ Moore. This was a freak of a game, a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown. He had some decent receiving work, but again, Bengals. And I'm selling Loveland too. I'm just worried with Komet coming back that he won't be the same. He had only 6 catches. He ran like crazy, 118 yards and 2 touchdowns, but I'm just worried it won't be the same once Komet is back. So keep an eye on the head injury, the concussion. But
Yeah.
yeah, Loveland, I'd be the most hesitant to sell of this group.
Yeah, I agree. Just because of the fact that like with rookies, especially at the tight end position, like I feel like all it takes is one game to
Yeah,
just like take over. But like there's so many other receiving options there that it's not just that easy.
yeah.
My sell at quarterback is JJ McCarthy. Had a good fantasy week, scored on the ground, a couple passing touchdowns, 20 plus points from the fantasy perspective. I just don't believe overall in like his ability to can sustain that. So that's the main reason I'm as a sell.
And I agree.
Brees is my RB sell. He had a monster week, what, last week or 2 weeks ago. This was more like we talked about a lot about team situations. The Jets are just in a clear like dumpster fire, sell everyone. And usually that like negatively impacts people who are on the field. Brees is very talented. He didn't get moved today. So he's going to move forward
Yeah.
with this very rough offense. I think if you could sell him based off of that game he had a couple weeks ago, they just had a buy,
They just had
correct?
a bye.
They just had a
Yeah.
buy.
He
So
had
like
like
that
33 the week
Yep.
before, something
So
like
that's
that.
still fresh in people's mind. I just think
Oh,
things
yeah.
start to go downhill
Yep.
very heavily. So if you can get like a good return for him, I'd go do it. Jameson Williams is my wide receiver sell. I think you just have to do this, like sell him on his high weeks. Like that, like people are like, oh, JMO, it's fine time. It's not. I think he's gonna have, but he's just not gonna be able to do
Yeah.
it week to week.
Yeah. So volatile.
Yeah, exactly. And then my tight end sell, my buy was Likely, my sell is Andrews. We had to keep the trend going where someone
Yep.
puts him as a seller
Yep.
sit every week.
Get him out of
I just
here.
think like it's just he's so touchdown dependent. Yeah, what do you have? Like three
Two
catches for
catches
two
for
or
two
was it two?
touchdowns.
Yeah. So very touchdown dependent. But with Lamar, like he always throws them in the red zone. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I would just sell him with this
Yeah,
big
I'd get
week.
him off.
If you could
I don't
get
want him
like
on my
some sort of
team.
upgrade, like pair him with someone, I don't know. If you
Yeah,
can.
I don't want him on my team. That's fair. Starts and sits last week. I said this too. I was like, yeah, so my starts of the week, I love them. Of course, what's going to happen now is my starts are going to be all terrible. And
Yeah.
that's basically what it was. Daniel Jones was not a good start. Vidal was not a good start. Pitts was not a good start. I did hit on Marv, but that was that. Sits of the week, Bo, he was fine. Rico and Chuba, well, Rico torched Green Bay, so that was
Yep.
a miss.
Yep.
Diggs got in the end zone, so you could consider that a miss, although it wasn't a great day otherwise. And Ingram got blanked, so I was right about that. I went 2 for 8, rough week.
Hmm.
You'd love that was a brutal start. But then you hit on Chase Brown, you hit on Loveland big time, and
Yep.
Waddle was decent
Yeah.
too. Sits of the week, Stroud, he got hurt. That counts. Tracy was terrible. Terry didn't play.
No.
Hunter Henry had 9 points. So it was all right. You almost did the opposite of me. You went like 7 for 8. I went 2 for 8.
I've had a couple good
I've
weeks in a row.
I've had a couple good weeks. This was not one of them.
Hey,
So happens,
stuff.
happens. Um, yeah, hopefully we can be get right week this week. My start of the week at quarterback is Jackson Dart versus the Chicago Bears. One, it's a great matchup. Two, Dart has been producing like crazy.
Hmm.
There's no reason you should sit him.
Yeah, very
Start
matchup
Dart.
proof.
Yeah.
My start at quarterback is Jared Goff against the Commanders. Again, good matchup. The Commanders, like we talked about a lot, are just kind of in like a downhill trend, especially with Jaden being out. I
Mhm.
could just picture this as one of Goff's games that he has like 2 or 3 times a year, just like 5 touchdowns, Lions beat down on him.
Mhm.
Just everyone's having a good day. So I would fire up Goff this
Yep.
week.
My start of the week at running back, beautiful matchup. It's Rico Dowdle versus the Saints. Yeah, he's just gonna go crazy again. I think you might be a little scared. I don't know if anybody is scared about Chuba anymore, but I think the fact that he's still there, people might still be hesitant. I think Rico is a plug and play must start. Like, just
Yeah.
yeah, do not pull him for anything.
This just feels like a Kimani against the Titans. Like it just
Nah,
feels so right.
Rico's
But
so
no,
much better
no.
than
I listen. If I had Rico, I would start him in every league. But
Rico is a must
it
start.
but it just feels like that one where it's like
No.
everything has to go right and it just
I
does.
took
But
I took Rico, so it's almost like it can't go wrong
yeah.
this week.
Well, I would definitely you
Against
gotta
the
start him. I
Saints,
completely
yeah.
agree. But it just feels like we have one of these every week where it's like so it has to be
Well,
right.
Rico, every time he's gotten the work, he's produced.
Yeah,
So
yeah. No, I'd fire up Rico.
yeah.
My start at running back is Judkins against the Jets. Little banged up, has kind of had like good game, bad game, good game, bad game. This feels like maybe you wouldn't think it's a good matchup. Well, the Jets just had a fire sale on defense.
Yeah, they
Still
traded Quinn
soft, Quinn
Williams.
Williams. I think this is going to be a really ugly game, and I think
Yeah.
it's one where like Judkins is one of the one bright spots where he maybe gets in the end zone once or twice, has 100 yards on the ground. That's the that would be like exceeding expectations, but I think it's a good matchup for him.
Yeah. I feel like Dart and Rico are almost cheating, so I went down the totem pole for receiver a little bit. I'm going with Jordan Addison against the Baltimore Ravens. It was not a great week for Addison this week. It's also just scary playing a guy getting thrown the ball from JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
But the Ravens, they're gonna have to throw the ball. And I think the matchup is pretty good. And I think Addison can have a bounce back week. So he's my start of the week.
I like that call. No, that's out there. That's
It's a reach.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but hey, he's definitely startable.
Hmm.
Uh my start at receivers, Ted versus the Saints. Again, this just like feels like a super ugly game. Like that but Ted, we talked about, he just like has a decent floor of like, maybe it's not productive for fantasy, but he gets the targets, receptions for the yards that Bryce Young throws. So
Yeah.
um I feel like people might be a little down on Ted based on his past couple of
I'm the
weeks.
Tet whisperer, bro.
But this feels like a good week to fire him up if you're nervous about him.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, my tight end is Kincaid versus the Dolphins. Great matchup, and it just feels like Kincaid is a focal point of the offense. So I'd feel confident starting him this week.
Yep, I like that. This is a little bit of a deeper one. I'm gonna start Theo Johnson against the Bears. He seems to kind of have that connection with Dart, especially in the red zone, like
Yeah, the red
touchdown
zone for
scoring
sure.
area. And also a very good matchup against Chicago. Like we saw Noah Fant have a big game with Flacco again just this past week against the Bears. So the Bengals defense sucks. Like I think, like you mentioned, all the reasons to start Dart. I think we see a touchdown connection with Theo Johnson and a decent week from a tight end.
Yeah. Sits of the week. I'm sitting Daniel Jones. They're playing Atlanta. Atlanta's been very good. I mean, even Drake May didn't have a great week this week.
Mhm.
Drake May's matchup proof. So I think if you have another option, hopefully you do, you go with the other option. For me personally, with Daniel Jones on one of my teams, I'm starting Bo Nix on Thursday night against the Raiders over Daniel Jones pretty
Yep.
confidently, even though ESPN projecting Daniel Jones for more. But yeah, I think it's just a really, really brutal matchup. So I'd probably, especially after last week with the turnovers, I'd probably give it a week if I can.
I like that one. And to add on to my buy of Jones, you can even wait one more week, or depending on when your league's
Yeah,
trade deadline
potentially.
is
Yeah.
at. But yeah, I like it. My sit at quarterback is Justin Fields against the Browns. Again, I just think
Mhm.
it's going to be a super ugly game. I just
Yeah.
really want no parts of it unless it's Judkins or you could start Breece Hall this week too. But still, like I don't know. I just want no part of it, and I don't think Fields is good at all. I've said that from the beginning, so my definite
Yeah.
sit this week.
Yeah, my sit at running back, I feel like at least one of us each week has a guy who might not play, and it's Trey Benson versus the Seahawks. There's a good chance he doesn't play, but I'm also hearing rumblings now that he's eligible. He might come off IR and play this week, but it's not a great matchup against Seattle. It's a tough one. I'd wait a week. If he's back, I'd wait a week. I think also knowing that the timeline originally was 4 to 6 weeks, there's a good chance he doesn't play, but if he does, it feels a little rushed, and I'd hold off from starting him this week.
Yeah, I'd agree. So similar, my play is similar along the lines of like a wait and see for now, but it's a much bigger name.
Yeah.
My sit of the week this week is Bucky Irving against the Patriots. And a lot of people might think that's crazy. Bucky is a huge fantasy name, but I think it's along the same reasons. Like he's been out for 4 weeks now, I think.
Yeah, something like
So,
that.
and it's not like he has a cupcake matchup coming back. It's the Patriots who you've brought up the stat the past couple of weeks of they haven't given up more than 50 rushing yards to any running back they've faced
This year. Yeah.
this year. So, I
And
don't think he
we're 9 weeks in.
yeah, so this isn't like there's a big sample size of
Yeah.
this being the case. I think you could wait and see. I don't think we're going to get the bell cow Bucky that we saw before he got injured. You might be excited that Bucky's back. Let me fire him up. If it's necessary, definitely go for it. But like, if you have the means to not play him, I wouldn't this week. I'd more wait and
I
see.
think most people are gonna have to play him, but it can definitely be a heavy fade
Yeah,
instead of a
yeah,
sit. Yeah.
yeah. Fade.
Yeah, this is another situation where I think it's more of a fade than a sit, but I'm sitting Olave. The Panthers are actually good against receivers. Also, Tyler Shuck sucks. He's awful. And yeah, well, Rashid Shaheed got traded. Oh, that's good. I'm glad like that opens up the door for Olave a little more.
Mhm.
But now who do they have to focus on? I feel like he's going to get more targets, but I just don't think it's going to translate in this game. So I'm sitting Olave. I'd like to see it with Shuck first. If I have another option, I'm starting the other option.
I completely agree. Yeah, that offense is horrible.
Yeah.
My sit at receiver is Quinn Johnson
Huge.
against Pittsburgh. I don't know. I feel like we've talked a lot about this Los Angeles receiving room. I'm going to take my chances with this being the down week for Quinton. The Steelers defense secondary, it's older guys, but like they're not just free money in terms of getting whatever they want. It's a moderate matchup for all things considered, but I'm just gonna take my chances with him kind of being the person that's the odd man out this week.
All right.
Not really
I
much to it, just more of
this
like a
I hope you're wrong
are you
because
starting
I'm
him?
starting huge. The Pittsburgh is number 32 for
Are
receivers.
you
The
serious?
number one matchup. Yep.
I should have done my research.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
ESPN.
sticking with it though, but
ESPN. Here, well,
what?
I'll show
Who's
you
had
right.
big weeks against them?
Everybody is cooking them. But yeah, there's Cuge right there, number 32 against
All
Pittsburgh.
right, let's see.
So that's why I'm firing him up. I'm firing him up. My sit of the week at tight end is Luke Musgrave versus the Eagles. Oh, who's that? Okay, yeah, that's a great question. Musgrave is not Tucker Kraft. I think a lot of people are gonna believe he's gonna fill that role and just immediately fill in like, oh well, Tucker Kraft was so good. Let me go get Musgrave and start him because he's gonna be Tucker Kraft. I really don't think so.
Yeah.
And Philly's a brutal matchup, so
Yeah.
sit him. Don't even pick him up.
I completely agree. But it is interesting because Musgrave was the guy that was drafted in the same
Yep,
draft as
Hesman.
Kraft and
Yep.
drafted ahead of him, kind of the guy that was given the first shot. He got injured. But yeah, I'd agree. There's no reason you should be starting Luke
Yeah.
Musgrave this week. Then my sit of the week is Harold Fan against the Jets. Again,
Yeah.
I think I've half of my sits are, or no, yeah, half of my sits are in this game. I just think it's going to be such a gross game. I
Yeah.
don't trust, like,
Yeah, you have
I
one
don't know.
one start, two sits.
This just feels like a 9-6 game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now the
I'm
Browns are
just
gonna put up points now that Sauce and Quinton got
yeah. I
traded.
mean, I don't know. I'm not confident in either side to
Yeah.
like really. So I don't want to invest any starts into this
Yeah.
game.
It's just
Besides
gross.
judgments, that's the one person I think will benefit from this.
It's gross.
So
Yeah. Well, eventful episode, episode 30, crazy enough.
wow.
Yeah, we're gonna talk trades afterwards. We don't have time on the show. So but yeah, we'll see y'all next week. Good luck week 10. So start thinking about trades more. There's gonna get a point in time where we're not talking trades anymore because deadlines are passing. So when the typical, I don't know what week it is, but when the typical week for deadline passes, we'll stop doing our trade targets. Stick with the rest, and
Yeah.
we'll
I
go
think
from
it's
there.
like
Yeah.
what week 12 usually for most leagues.
We'll
The
have to look it
13.
up, but yeah, it's around week 12, week 13, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, we'll make sure to, cut that segment out. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. See y'all in the next episode.
Peace.